When did you get into photography?
I don't even know. I think I was just always interested in it and without really knowing. And I think a pivotal moment happened when my dad actually got a camera from my stepmom for Christmas. And
What camera was this?
it was a Canon T2i.
He's got taste. Anyway, go.
Yeah.
The Rebel. Yeah.
Rebel,
Yeah.
yes. And Christmas, my senior year, it somehow came into my hands. And from there, I kind of just jumped with it. Never honestly thought it would turn out to be what I do for a living now.
Which is shoot.
Commercial campaigns, yeah.
So, can you recall times wherein you're looking at magazines and those advertisings would pique your interest?
Yeah, like I was just
or
saying,
billboards.
It was just like one of those things that I kind of fell into it late. My whole life I've been somewhat of a late bloomer, and I think artistically I bloomed into it late as well. I think a lot of people who are in the creative space are either born into it or they grow up, doing the art that they pursue when they get older. But for me, it wasn't until I would say even a couple years ago that I started to look at the world more creatively, right? Which is, in my opinion, kind of a rare story. I think, not often you find people coming into adulthood. But yeah, it wasn't until recently that I really started to break down advertisements, right? Like my girlfriend and I will be walking through a mall and I'll look and I'll be like, well, I wonder how they shot that. Or I wonder what the budget was. But yeah, to answer your question, it wasn't until really recently that I started to be more in tune with that side of myself.
So let's go back to the DSLR. A T2i.
A T2i.
Okay. When you saw that, what was the first thing you did? And the reason why I want to dissect it from there is because what people don't understand, kids your age, opportunities are everywhere in the house.
Yeah.
It just has to find you, or you just have to find it. Diba? So you were playing with it, and then what?
I was also taking a photo class in high school. This was my senior
elective.
year. It was an elective.
Why?
I honestly, I thought it was going to be easy. And since I was already doing a lot of like iPhone photography, so this is like, we're talking like 2014. And this is around the time where, iPhone photography was really starting to take place, and people were doing cityscapes at the time. I think that, the Bay Area photo scene was really big. So I was starting to do that. And then with the T2i, I just kind of took that a step further and was doing a lot of street photography, whatever I thought was cool. Obviously taking it to class and taking photos, but
compositions.
No,
not
honestly,
even.
just freestyling. Just freestyling.
No theme, no nothing.
Nothing.
Wow.
Honestly, just kind of freestyling, yeah.
And then
just kind of stuck with it. To be honest with you, post high school, I went to junior college and didn't really know what I wanted to do.
You still brought the Rebel with you? No.
I was always into, I guess, clothing and fashion, and that was really what the big gateway was into my career right now. And so being into that is what led me into shooting more and finding a passion and a hobby out of it.
I want to backtrack now. So high school, you had the camera. You took photography as an elective. College, you're into fashion. Wala yung camera. When did you reintroduce yourself to? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So kind of an unconventional path. And that's like a theme in my life, And it wasn't, I think it was maybe first year or after first year of college. I ended up getting a job at a sneaker boutique called Beatnik in Fullerton. I'm from Orange County. And without really knowing what it would turn into, I started to take photos for the boutique.
Just wala lang.
Yeah, I mean, I just figured that this would look good on my resume when I graduate.
See?
And it would be something good that, I was a marketing major. There we go.
There you go.
I was a marketing major, so I started to do more of the social media. And then I started to shoot a little bit of, clothing on friends, but still, like, at this time, it's still very,
Clothing on friends.
but at this time, it's still fun. I'm not
But you
doing this for, there was no real further intent, I guess. There was no like, oh, I'm doing this so I could have a career in photography.
so wala lang. Not even as a hobby, no.
No.
It was like, oh, I'll take it. I'll take the shot.
Yeah, I'll do it. And I had the camera. Right? So I had the camera and I was like, I'm just, I think our social media could be better. No offense to those guys, I think our social media could be better. I'm in college for marketing. This is a perfect case study for when I get out of school and even in my current, just to learn things. And I ended up taking it up. And then, we can get into the nuances, but it just led to here.
No, go. And
yeah,
then,
it just kind of led to here. And, I want to shout out my mentor, another Filipino American, probably the most talented photographer I know. And without him, I wouldn't be here right now. Jason Palacio, he kind of was the person who saw that I had a talent.
how did he tell you that you had talent?
So the thing with the sneaker boutique, it was called Beatnik, and it's part of this chain of stores called Blends.
Okay.
Blends is really big in the Southern California sneaker scene, and
Yeah.
he was doing the editorial work for Blends, right?
Are you a sneakerhead?
I was in a past life,
Okay.
not anymore. Not anymore.
Okay.
But so he was doing all the editorial work for Blends, and then slowly he would just kind of reach out to me and just say, "Hey, like this looked great," or "Hey, like you're really killing this. Like keep it up." And then the wheels started turning in my head, like, "Oh, like maybe I can kind of do something with this, right?" And then eventually the Beatnik store closed, and I was scared because I was gonna have to look for a job. But Jason ended up hiring me to work under him at Blends. So he was kind of the person that first saw it, right, and made sure that he mentored me and fostered the talent that I had within me that I didn't even know I had.
So you never had a 9 to 5?
No, not really. Semi, right?
Let's talk about that, especially now where your generation, some of you guys are like, do I enter the workforce? Do I become an entrepreneur? Alam mo yun, without even trying. All of a sudden, you came to a point na, oh my God, what's gonna happen to me? And just like that, it segued into what became a career, di ba?
Kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. I mean, it's one of those things. So I always live by this saying that my dad tells me is luck is when preparation meets opportunity. And it's something that, I think about all the time and something I live by, because if I wasn't preparing for the moment that Beatnik was going to close and that, Jason was going to somehow discover I had this talent, then I probably wouldn't be sitting in this chair right now.
Visit ABBAEservices.com for fast medical transcription service. This podcast episode is brought to you by AB Music Creative.